Hello. I don't know why it started like that. It felt like the right thing to do. Oh, I've got so many problems. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Ex Machina. And it's by, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure this is by, SoundIron, Craig Peters. He was very kind enough to listen to my sob story about how I can't play guitar anymore due to a motorcycle accident and was like, man, give it a bash. So that's what we've done. We've given it a bash. So I've listened to Craig using Ex Machina. That guy can definitely get more out of this than I can. He's more familiar with it, and the way that he writes is obviously based around this. So while I think this is a pretty decent example of like what you can get out of this, I would still highly recommend going to the website with the link in the description and listen to the first track, because Craig's done a really good job of getting some cool sounding stuff out of it. Right, let's hit play. I hope you like it. I hope it does it justice. Sorry, Craig, but also sorry, Craig. Don't ask me why I did a key change this obnoxious and abrasive. I don't know. I'm sorry. Just accept it, because the next section's sick. Wasted life like nothing even matters. Mothers, daughters, wives and men. Channeling my inner Tesseract here. I don't know why it's so happy. Disney Channel decided to go metal. So, I mean, that's what I managed to come up with. So, let's do a quick look into what the guitars sound like by themselves, which I'm never usually a huge fan of with VSTIs, because they always sound a bit fake, to be honest. And that's not a slight on Ex Machina. I mean, it's every VSTI. They just don't sound like real instruments. I mean, the closest I found so far literally was Odin yesterday, Odin 3. But you know, every so often you're going to get one that just kind of stands out. And by no means, by mentioning that, am I trying to devalue the offering that's here. It's I'm just trying to be honest with you. It's anyway. I'll press play. You'll see what do you think yourself. Ignore that first note. Don't know why I did that. then you got this type of stuff. Palm muting. Which I think that's passable. By passable, I don't mean not very good. I mean passable as in that's over the line of I believe that sounds like a real instrument. I would say from this, honestly, the power chords themselves and the chug stuff actually sounds really real to me. Like easily, as you've just heard, put it in a mix and sounds great. I think it's only the single notes that stand out more so as being, if they weren't in a mix, I think you'd have to do a lot more work to make them, what's the word? What am I looking for? If your goal was absolute realism, this sounds like a guitar, I think you'd have to put a lot more work into the programming side of things as a creator to get those single notes to not stand out in that typical VSTi way. And I don't think anyone has fully cracked that yet. I don't know how we crack that. Maybe you need 8 years and 700,000 samples. I don't know, but maybe we just need AI to make it for us. But for the context of what this is made for, which is songwriting, it's great. I mean, let me close this down purely just so that we can see more of this. It's easier for me to move around. I mean, listen to this and like the mix. Like, that sounds real to me. Doesn't sound like a tiny tinge of VSTi-ness, but by the time you put it in a full mix, gone. And I think that's the important thing with VSTIs, because I think if you're entering the realm of VSTIs with regards to guitars, metal guitars, and you're expecting them to sound as real as an actual guitar player, I don't think we're there yet. I think we're the closest we've ever been, but I don't think we're there yet. Specifically with soloed instruments. So we're talking lead guitars, we're talking guitars playing by themselves with nothing else supporting them. By the time you get into a full mix with a bass guitar that has some of that kind of saturation, distortion, overdrive with it, at the same time as drums, and you're layering it up with synths and all these things, I think by the time you're doing that, these guitars are more than passable. And again, what I mean by passable is not the impression that, yeah, it's okay, it's passable. I mean, if there's a high bar of this sounds fake, this sounds real, it's passable, like it's over the line, like it's believable. That it sounds like real instruments to me. Like, I don't listen to it and go, oh, fucking program guitars. It only stands out, like I said, on those single notes, and that's because I'm listening for it. So, as a guitarist of 20 years, listening to this stuff, you're going to be able to pick it apart. But that doesn't mean listeners of the music you're creating with this are going to sound that way. Not to mention the key thing I said earlier with regards to Craig. Go listen to the first track that he's written on his website, because that sounds real as fuck. Like, that makes mine sound fake as shit compared to his. So there's definitely going to be more time needed with using this plugin to write with it and really understand how to get the most out of it. A lot of these plugins that I get, I'm trying to approach them from the aspect of, if I just sat down to write some music and I put it in with medium effort, as in there's a lot of effort in the songwriting because I want it to sound cool, and then the programming aspect, there's like minimum effort, which is put everything in at the same velocity, then there's like medium, which is you sort the velocities out and the timing, and then maximum would be going full ham, adding in every single detail, every little string, like everything. So it's like, I've got ADHD, man. Like, I can't do that. I'll get bored, and I need to get videos out. I need to actually make something to share it with people, and if I have to start doing that for every single video, I haven't got what it takes to do it. I can't. I'll just quit. I'll give up. So, again, I'm just being honest with you. So I hope this stuff is it's not a deep dive by any means, but it's a deep enough dive, or rather a dive into what this plugin sounds like in a mix, so you can decide for you whether it's going to work. You know, yes, I can offer my opinions on stuff, but I'm also, because of the whole autism thing, I can be very literal and very blunt, and it's never the impression that I want to give off to people, because it can come across as blunt and unkind, and it's never supposed to be like that. But it can happen, and it has happened to me throughout my entire life. So I think the way I'd like to approach these is, hey, look, I've made something with it. I think it's good, or I think it's bad, or I think it's exceptional. You know, this is how easy it was to use. These are some of the features you can get with it that are particularly unique, or if they're not unique, probably don't mention them because they're all the same these days in terms of, by that I mean every metal guitar you would expect to be able to do chugs and open strings and, you know, sliding. So they're not new features. All we really care about is how easy is it to use, how good does it sound. And that's how I'm trying to approach it. Just, you know, 10-15 minute video that you can sit down with a cup of tea, watch it, listen to a track and go, did that sound fake, or did that sound like a real instrument? If it did sound like a real instrument, does it sound like the type of instrument I want to write with? Does it look like it's easy enough to work with? And how much does it cost? So I think this one's about $100. So half the price almost of you know, competitor that just came out, like Odin 3. So is it half as good? That's up to you to decide. I'm not going to impart thoughts on that. I think ultimately you have to pick the right tools for you. I'm just trying to present them in the best light possible. Yeah. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the track, and I hope that it gave you enough information about Axe Machina in order for you to make a decision on whether it's for you or not. Check the description in order to go onto the website and listen to Craig's stuff. Thank you so much for sending me a copy of it, mate. I really appreciate it, and it's always fun to keep testing out new tools and find out what works for what, because I've found before that some VSTi instruments work better for specifically open string chugs, some work better for doing like a bent note, some work better for doing clean passages, you know, so you end up using almost everything that's out there in order to build a song. So thank you so much. I'm going to put some more time into learning this one for sure. Yeah, cool. All right. Cheers, guys. Peace.